Day 61 would begin my push towards home. And unfortunately, that meant jumping on the interstates. I would spend the next 3 days battling the traffic on the interstate highway. 150 miles down, about 260 left to go, enjoying a cup of coffee. All right, so we got about 300 miles down or so, and got another 120 miles to go, something like that, maybe a little less. And then I'll be in the room for the evening. Well, I am on the interstate today, so stopping in travel centers and so forth. They are so weird. People are just so weird. I won't even get into it, but they're just weird when you go into these places. And while the traffic kept moving, it never let up. It was a constant battle of finding your way around all of the big trucks and in and out of all of the traffic. It was pretty crazy sitting for those last 100 miles. I imagine that's probably what it's going to be like for the rest of the way to St. Louis, but I guess we'll find that out in the morning. Good morning. Up again. Going to finish my second cup of coffee, have a little OJ, take my vitamins, and then put the gear on and pack up and hit the road. Today I'm going to Evansville, Indiana, and that's a little under 300 miles for the day. So while in Evansville, I'm going to see a friend, follower, fellow traveler, Richard, and we'll sit down and see if we can't catch up a little bit. So I was just looking out the window and I saw this underneath the overpass next to the hotel. We've seen a lot of homeless people on this trip. I mean, a lot. And this is the first, though, that I've seen a tent set up underneath an overpass like this. So interesting times we're living in. Day 62, well, it was pretty much a carbon copy of day 61. All right, so about 150 miles down, a little under that left to go. I've stopped for some brunch, and then I get back on the road, head to Evansville. Right, another 100 miles down, about 50 to go. I'm going to punch the hotel into the GPS, and then we should be there in no time. But while I battled traffic all day, I was really looking forward to getting into Evansville and meeting with my good friend Richard. So you guys remember Richard? He was in my 6060 videos, right? When he came out to Maggie Valley to meet us out there. So I decided to stop by where he lives here in Indiana, say hello, and he's taken me to the Hornville Tavern out here.
The famous Hornville Tavern. Madonna has danced on the bar in this restaurant.
Really?
And that's no joke.
I'm impressed now.
Yes.
Well, I hear they have some great smoked pork chops, so we're gonna go try them. All right, so we got here, and unfortunately, the smoked pork chops aren't available tonight.
Every other day, every other Thursday, but not this day.
You know, it's this COVID stuff. Things aren't available right now. So, but that's just the way things keep going on this trip. So it's all right. We have ribeyes instead. and they're very good. All right, I'm up. I think this is day 63. I'm not really sure. I am in Evansville, Indiana. Had a great night last night with Richard, talking about old trips and learned some history of Evansville that I won't get into here, but it's very interesting. Richard's writing a book, so I am really interested when that finally gets out. But after this, I am heading towards, Charlton, West Virginia for the evening, a little over 300 miles away tonight. But once I get to Charleston, we will figure out where I'm going to go. Haven't decided yet. I'm a couple of days from home from there, or I take more of a back road route. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. We'll look at the maps tonight. So anyway, time to pack up, get back on the road. All right, so here we are, ready to go. Day 63. All right, first 100 or so down. Man, every time I pull off to get gas, it turns out to be interesting. So a lot of people traveling out here. All right, so anyway, gonna get back on the road where it's a little calmer. Hey guys, so I am right now in Charleston, West Virginia, which happens to be the capital of West Virginia. I rode 365 miles today to get here. It was, I have to say, not a very enjoyable day. Been on the highway the last 3 days, and this today, I swear I didn't go 10 miles without having some kind of construction. So it was just one after the other, after the other, after the other. There's even one place where we were stopped for a little bit getting through because there was a cop had somebody pulled over in the construction area, so it just backed everybody up. So anyway, got here and I've been sitting down at the computer there looking at the maps, trying to figure out where I'm going to go next. So tomorrow I am going to do a combination of some highway and then take a back road, Route 50, over and pick up 81, and I'm going to end up in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. From there, I have a couple of options. I can just get on 81 to 84 and head home. I've done it several times, easily from Chambersburg to get home. So that is an option. And that'll get me home on Sunday, so traffic might be a little bit better on a Sunday. The other option is to, from Chambersburg, get out and ride some back roads through Pennsylvania into New York, and then end up in the Catskills, and then ride home from the Catskills. That would be at least 2, maybe 3 days from Chambersburg. I would just kind of play it by ear, find somewhere to stay as I went along. So, don't know what I'm going to do yet. The weather may play a role in this, because I see we have some storms coming into the New England area on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, so it may be better that I get home early. So, I may just be jumping on the highway, but we'll see. I'm giving myself the option. Good morning once again. Day 64 today. I'm heading from Charleston, West Virginia to Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, about 333 miles today. A little bit of back road, I hope, today, at least a secondary road, so that'll be nice to get off of the interstates. And then the next day, probably be heading home. So after 3 rough days on the interstate, day 64 was actually a joy. I started off on a little bit of interstate, but it was a nice road with little traffic. I then got off on Route 50, and that was a great ride before it again connected up with Interstate 81. I stopped for a little break. About 233 miles in. Got about 100 miles left to go for the day. It's been a great day. The Interstate I-79 was great. Beautiful road. Not much traffic. And then I got off on 50. And other than a few slow pokes every now and then, 50 has been a beautiful road. I'm taking that, connect up with 81, and I'll end up in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. And keeping in the spirit of this trip, both my Cardo Pack Talk, which is about 7 years old, was acting weird today. Didn't want to let me turn it off. All right, finally I got it to work. And also my GoPro froze on me, which it hasn't done that the entire trip. The remainder of the ride on Route 50 was awesome. Unfortunately, once I got to 81, the last 60 miles, well, again, they were a little bit of a challenge. All right, I made it. I'm here in Chambersburg. Unfortunately, the last 60 miles, well, I was back in the suck of I-81. Man, I tell you, there are some crazy people up in this Virginia, Maryland, area up here. I mean, I'm going 80 and people are passing me on both sides, screaming in and out of traffic doing 100. It's just absolutely insane. And one woman, for example, she comes screaming around the right side, comes over to the left, gets back over to the right. Also, she could get off the freeway at a half a mile up the road. Insane. All right, here we are, up. Last day of the trip. Last walk down the hotel hallway to get a cup of coffee and a hotel breakfast. I already started packing. So these are the last few trips like this we're gonna do of this big adventure. All right, here's a rare event. I'm actually in the dining room of the hotel. It's about 7:20 right now. And there's nobody else in here. Everybody else is gone. I'm getting packed up. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. Going back to the room, finish packing. We'll be on the road probably before 8. Head out and get some gas. Last time I put these on. Man, do they need to be washed. The last day of this trip, I have to say, turned out to be, I think, the single worst day I've ever had on a motorcycle. It was hot, it was humid, and the traffic and construction did not let up for almost the entire 400 miles of the trip. All right, 150 miles down, about 300 left to go. I'm in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania right now. Every time I thought I was out of the traffic and in the clear, well, my hopes were dashed. Okay, I've done, I don't know, 300 and how much? 20 miles, something like that. Got 130 miles left to go. So a couple hours to get home. There was one traffic spot I see that Google says, I hope it's cleared up by the time I get there, but we'll see. Anyway, it's been an interesting day. And a hot one. So looking forward to being home here in a few minutes. So after I made that little video, I found out that one of the shocks on my trailer had blown. I had no air in the shocks and had to ride home the last 2 hours of the trip, again with no suspension on the trailer. So given that, and the heat, and all of the traffic, you can understand I was pretty frustrated. Fucking wanna go home! Even after I hit I-90 and was almost home, again, the traffic just did not let up as I fought it all the way to my doorstep.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Hard last leg.
I don't think I should be talking about it right now.
Bad traffic, huh?
Yeah, right up. Hold on.
Yep.
Okay.
Hi.
At least one of us is happy.
I'm happy to have you home.
No, this should be a happy day, but today has been rather frustrating.
But it's all right. You're home
I
now.
won't. Yeah, it's true. I won't list everything now.
No.
'Cause I will not be
Just
happy.
the happy things.
So we'll just be glad that I'm home,
That's right.
and I'm gonna have a beer and smoke a cigar.
That's right. And have a shower too, because you stink.
You're gonna lick me down.
No.
All right, it's good to be home,
It's good to have you home.
having a beer. I'm gonna light up this thing in celebration. For those who want to know, it's a Camacho, Connecticut. I really like Camacho cigars. But anyway, it's great to be home. Great to be back with my beautiful and loving wife.
Thank you. It's good to have you here.
And even though today was a trying day, I said, I'll tell you all about it when I settle down a little bit. But anyway, right now we're home. I'm going to enjoy.
Cheers.